All right, Philip Glickman, welcome to the Happy Hustle podcast. I am super stoked to have you on.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, man, this is going to be amazing. I truly look at you as one of the most badass men or humans that I know. You are very humble by nature, but ferocious when teaching and instructing Krav Maga and firearms. Blessed to call you my instructor for the past couple years on and off. And I wanted to introduce you to the happy hustlers out there because I feel right now it is a crazy world and we don't know what's going to happen, on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's important for people to protect themselves and to stay vigilant. And I really wanted to bring you on to share some of your tips, your tactics, your world-renowned self-defense instructions to, the happy hustlers out there who maybe aren't necessarily as aware. But before we get into all that good stuff, can you talk about something interesting about yourself that not too many people know?
I start Krav Maga because this is what we are talking, because there is a difference between self-defense, general self-defense, and Krav Maga. And I represent a system named OIS Krav Maga, as you're on your t-shirt. Emet in Hebrew, it's mean true. So our goal is to be as much as we can true, to be as much as we can realistic, and to propose to the students, to the practitioners, and to the people to come to us who, for most of the time, doesn't have any experience, to make them able to be able to defend themselves in any kind of situation. Regarding the danger, the situation, if there is one enemy, two, etc., etc. So we use the principle of Krav Maga with an operative mode. It's very operational and practical. What can I say about me? I do Krav Maga for more than 20 years. I've been lucky to be trained and to have tremendous instructors. My actual instructors right now is Aaron Laurent Elbaz, my coach and my mentor, and I follow him for right now more than 15 years. I'm with him, and I represent the system in the United States and especially in Miami. And I came here 6 years ago. I had a school in France, and I decided to move and to rebuild everything and to propose to develop and to propose our system to the people of Miami.
Amazing. And for those people out there who have no clue what Krav Maga is, can you give us a definition?
Alors, Krav Maga is based on the natural moves, on the natural instinct. And from there, we conduct and we direct the moves to make them pro-efficient. So very simply, to make it simply, Krav Maga is to be able, in a minimum of time, to make maximum of damage to the enemy with minimum of injury to us. This is Krav Maga. So it's very practical, it's very simple. The moves, you can learn them very quickly. Of course, we need to train and to repeat, but it's you can access to that whatever your level, whatever your condition. We have already a bunch of different type of students, and all of them, regarding the level of coordination, fitness, whatever, they learn very quickly. And this is the proper of the system, of the Emet Krav Maga system. In Israel, in the army, we don't have such a long time to train the military. They have a short time, so they have to be super efficient in a short period of time and get ready to make their job. And this is what we do with the people here. So sometimes I have students, they have maybe 1 month, 2 months, 6 months to get ready because maybe they're gonna be in front of a real danger. So this is our training.
Yeah, amazing. That's one of the things that drew me to Krav Maga was just the pure animal instincts that come through. It's not about getting points in some martial arts or, tapping someone out in MMA or, getting belt systems. It's about protecting yourself in real life danger, maximum damage, maximum efficiency. I've trained martial arts growing up loosely, throughout my whole life. And when I found Krav Maga, and especially your instruction, I just was like, wow, this is it. Definitely by far my favorite.
Excuse me, in every system, you have a message, you have a spirit. In our system, we are very involved in the situation and the spirit. So what does it mean? You can resume a self-defense system or whatever Krav Maga to just the moves and to just the physical aspect. We go beyond that. We put the people in a situation like if after the training they had to do that to save themselves or maybe to protect their family. At this moment, when you engage more than yourself and you put your family in front and you dedicate your training to say, okay, I'm here now, not for me, but to be sure that if something, God forbid, happen in my home, in my apartment, in my car, whatever my situation, I will be able to give an answer. When an enemy is attacking you, is asking you a question, are you? And the question is, now I ask you, are you able to answer? And the response should be your way of defending. Maybe the technique will not be perfect. Maybe you're gonna get hurt. But with the message and the spirit and the fact that behind you, you have your family and you can't let anybody touch your family, you're gonna give everything. So it's not a competition. It's not for a belt. It's not for a graduation. It's just for something bigger than life. In this situation that you are going through at this moment of the pandemic, we understand what is important today. Family, be able to breathe, be able to move, to go around. When an enemy is attacking you, you understand that he's trying to make bad damage to you. So with the technique, with the message, because the training is based on different level. You have, of course, the physical aspect, the mental aspect, and the spiritual aspect. So you have to be able to fight with those three big items: physic, mental, spiritual. Physic, be in good shape, be able to handle the fact that the enemy is going to attack hard, so you have to be able to handle it. Physically we talk. Mentally, it's scary. Maybe the guy, if you have a knife, maybe he just hurt someone just before you and he's coming at you, or maybe shoot someone. So mentally ready for the impossible. And spiritually, it's just what I explained to you. What is your essence of life? For us, life is more important than anything. We are not attacking anybody. We are not looking for troubles. We want to walk in peace. That was Himi, the founder of Krav Maga. He was saying that he did the Krav Maga to make the people able to walk in peace in the street. And this is what we do, what we give to the students.
Yes, so true and so well said. It does take the mental, the spiritual, and the physical in order to truly defend yourself against a true enemy, against a true threat. But one thing that stuck out to me in my first class with you was when you said, sometimes fighting the enemy, in your accent, which obviously I butcher, sometimes fighting the enemy isn't fighting at all. It's putting your windows up and driving away, or it's turning around and avoiding the situation altogether. And I think that's so beautiful that is the mindset of Krav Maga. It's not always to use your fist or a weapon. It's to walk away and protect yourself in life.
In the system, in the OIS Emet system, as I told you, Emet in Hebrew, it's true. Okay. And in the sentence, in the word of Emet, you have met. That means dead. So it means that if you are not true with what you do, you are dead. So you have to train for the good thing. And also, some situation doesn't need to fight. Sometimes you don't need, you can talk, you can desescalate the problem, you can avoid the problem, and you don't need to fight. But you need the confidence for that. be able to talk, you need to have enough confidence and power to be able to talk, to be able to put the words, because if someone is screaming at you and frightening you, maybe the words will not come. And sometimes punching, attacking is not the good answer on certain situations. So being able to use the head, because we need to be smart, okay, in all time. And then with that, you give different response regarding a situation. You can avoid, you can talk. If those situations, those things is impossible, and the guy is already on you and is attacking you with a knife, you understand that at this moment you have to fight. And
Yes.
when you have to fight, and when you engage to go to fight, here there is a switch, it's on, and you become proactive and you do your job like a surgeon is doing a job to save a life. He put his hands, he has blood everywhere, but what is the finality? So this is again my message. Whatever you do in life, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a path. You have to have a frame that puts you in something. Okay, I know why I do that. I understand my mission, and now I understand the situation. It's like a competitors or a basket team. They train, but for what? To win the championship. But we train to avoid any kind of problem if it happens, because it may not happen. But you have like a tool in your pocket that help you in a dangerous situation, but also in your job, to be able to be stronger mentally, to achieve your job, to be strong in your normal life with your wife, with your husband, whatever. Sometimes you have situations that need strength, and also if God forbid one of your family members or you had a sickness or disease, you have to be strong. You know, I had in the past, I had the chance, because it was a chance to have students who have big issues, health issue, and they come to the Krav Maga, to the school, to train and to change their spirit, and they were feeling better. And the doctor said at the end, "Oh my God, your results are much better. What did you do?" And they did Krav Maga, they trained. But here, you know, the head is much more everything than anything. You know, I'm going to tell you a little thing. You asked me a little story. You know, back in the time when after the Holocaust, you know, the difficult period of time for the Jewish people during the Second War. After the Holocaust, some survivors they had the chance to go in Israel. So they went through 5 years of very difficult. I can't even explain that because I didn't live it. But
I had family members who went through the Holocaust.
So those people for me are my example, my mentors are those people.
Yeah.
So, and I tell you that because after I will tell you another story.
Mm-hmm.
When they finished that, they survived to the Holocaust. They went in Israel. Mm-hmm. When they arrived in Israel, they said, welcome in your country, welcome in Israel. They give them a rifle and they say, now you're going to fight to defend Israel. So what does it mean? They went through something difficult. They went in Israel, they have to fight and to continue. And in fact, this is life. It's always a continuing.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about your background. I really think it's so interesting how you got to where you are. And I'd like to talk about what it was like for Philip growing up and potentially what got you into, you know, Krav Maga and just where you are today. What was it like? Where did you grow up? What was your childhood like?
I grew up in France, in Paris, in a good neighborhood, Jewish family. I was in a Jewish school when I was a kid, and then I was in different school. I was not the best at the school, but I was good. And fortunately, I was playing golf. I love golf. This is my.
I didn't know that.
My weak point. It's golf. Golf, and I had the chance to play golf for many years, and I continue to play right now. And had the chance to play on a good level. Okay. And I had coaches, we were training, blah, blah, blah. And already it was a good training for me to make me become what I was doing in Krav Maga, because golf and Krav Maga is exactly the same. You have to adapt yourself to any kind of situation. And one day I had a problem in a parking lot with people. And back in the time, I was doing box. I was boxing because I had this opportunity. I went in a very bad neighborhood close to Paris, and the boxing place was underground. It was disgusting, but the ambience inside was wow. It was smelling bad. It was disgusting. The locker was terrible. And I went there, and I felt that I was wow. I was at my place. I was in my place. And I trained boxing on very simple, nothing, no competition, nothing. I was trained there. And one day I had a problem in the street with different guys, and I boxed them. And after that, I went out from the situation. Thanks God, nothing happened to me. But after that, I questioned myself, say, okay, it's good, I win, but I don't know how to kick. I don't know what to do if someone is attacking me with a knife, with a gun. And then I had bombarding question of myself saying, okay, it's not enough. I need more than that. And thanks God, I had a friend that back in the time who introduced me to someone, and one day I met the one who became my first instructor of Krav Maga, who's now in Canada. His name is Thierry Yossi Sinkoskas, and he was my first instructor of Krav Maga, and I discovered Krav Maga because I didn't know what it was Krav Maga. And back in the time, it was not like it's today. Back in the time, we didn't have computers. There was no internet. So completely underground. I didn't have an iPhone.
Yeah.
And we were going there. It was very underground, no advertising. The Krav Maga was different in terms of not commercial, very access to the street, and no bells, nothing. And I start like this. And the fact that I put a T-shirt Krav Maga with letters in Hebrew for me was the best thing ever in my life, because regarding my parents, my grandparents, my story, my life, it was like, okay, do Krav Maga, it's clever, it's smart, there's a purpose, Israel, blah, blah, blah. I said, I love it. And I train. And I had the chance, as I told you, to meet different instructors. Thanks God I didn't have so much. And the last one is Aaron Elbaz, and I met him long time ago in Paris, and I passed my exam, and I went in Israel, and I did this, and I did that, etc., etc. But honestly, this is not important. The most important for me is to be, and this is how I put myself. I take myself as a messenger. Me, I just share something. My experience, I use it to give a push, to give a booster to the people who come to me. Whatever they are, what's the level, I don't care. Me, is to push the people, to tell them, okay, wake up, welcome in my world. And they live the experience of Krav Maga, of Femed Krav Maga, and we transform them. When I say transform them, it's with good words. It's we make them become better human beings. We make them become the best version of themselves for what we know. Being a good person, being respectful, and if God forbid something happen, as I told you at the beginning, you can give an answer, and you can look at yourself in the mirror.
Yes, so true. That's a great story of how you really started to fall in love with Krav Maga. And I'd like to give some tangible, I call them happy hustle hacks. Now, for this particular purpose, I don't know how happy they would be inflicting damage on others if necessary. Now, I'd like to leave the listeners and viewers with some tangible ways to defend themselves, self-defense tactics that are for the everyday world, maybe at a gas station or, in a bar or, well, driving if someone gets out and causes a problem. I'd like to give some tangible ways to protect yourself, to stay vigilant. Let's talk about punching and kicking first, because I feel people sometimes don't necessarily know the proper way to throw a punch or a kick. Can you walk us through where that punch should land and some of the more vulnerable spots on an enemy?
Okay, so just to make it clear, before anything, you have to understand how the body is built. So what is the weak points and what is the points that it's not weak? So the sensitive points are the eyes, the throat, the diaphragm, the plexus, the sternum, the throat, the sternum, the private, of course. You have the knee, and then you have some like the ribs, and of course, what do we have? The neck and the carotid, and the ear. So you have the eyes, the ears, the temples, the throat, the plexus, the groins, and the knee. So as soon as you are in front of someone, for the people who doesn't know how to strike with the fist, because we're supposed to strike with the two first knuckles, is the open hand, the palm. With this is better than anything. So you can strike the face like this, you can strike the temples or the ears like that, and best, just a scratch on the eyes like that with the nails. You can very easily, how can I say that? You can destabilize your enemy quickly without any big strategic things, just a scratch. And
especially the ladies out there with nails.
Just this in the eyes plus a kick to the groins is the best.
Yes, and I love that about Krav Maga. It's without you always say no groin, no Krav Maga. So if you don't strike in the groin at least once in the altercation,
we are the champions of that, to kick in the groins, because it's we know by experience that it's a very sensitive point. But don't make me wrong. You have out there people who take drugs, who take alcohols. One shot is not enough. Sometimes you have to go more, because back in the time we had, I think in Florida, a drug named
PCP.
The salt. It was a drug that make you become a cannibal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
And this one was super scary.
Yeah.
So, again, you never know in what condition you're going to be. You never know where you're going to be and who's going to be in front of you. So with a lot of respect, we always say that the enemy is an expert. The enemy is the expert of the expert, because anybody can surprise you. So we have to be very humble. We have to desescalate any kind of situation. And when something happens, to go to the easiest target, the eyes, the throat, the groins, that's it, and live if we can live.
Yes. And for those people just listening, not able to actually see Philippe, he's pointing to his left, it's a pointer finger knuckle and your middle finger knuckle to make contact. And you would like to strike, if possible, with the open hand palm just underneath the center of your palm. And obviously those are the most effective strikes to the eyes, the ears, the groin, the throat. Now talk to me about kicks. What is the best place to kick someone or potentially have your kick land? Is it the top of the foot, the heel strike, the knee?
When you have the foot on the floor, we don't strike with the toes. We try to strike with the ball of the foot. Okay, it's this of the foot. So we put the fingers a little bit back and we strike like this. We do that on the groins. On the groins, we have different way to strike because it's up. And then you have something very simple. When you strike over the belt, the person goes back. So if you strike me with a kick to the chest, I'm going to move back. If you strike me with a kick to the groins, I'm going to lean down. So it depends on your situation. For example, We have also in our classes people who have a concealed carry. You know, in Florida, plenty of people have a concealed carry. So if you are, for any instance, a law enforcement, or you have a concealed carry, and you are in this situation of danger, and the person is close to you, and if you go immediately to your gun, that's not a good idea. We, Krav Maga, we make what we call time and space. So we punch, we kick the person to make the person move back, and then we can draw. It's the same thing if you don't have anything, and you have maybe your child with you, and someone is coming up to you, you want to kick him and to push him in the center mass, in the chest, to make him move back, to create time and space to what? To leave. Maybe to take your kids, maybe to take your wife, to get in the car and to go to run away. You know, for experience, I know a bunch of students, men's or women's, that the significant is not doing anything. And sometimes they are more, how can I say, a problem, because when you are alone, you can do whatever you want. You involve yourself. But as soon as you are with someone, the person, you can't let the person alone. And if you start to create a problem and you fight with people, and the person, she can get injured. Also, as I told you before, I spoke about family. When you are aware that it's not about you, it's about your family, you see the things different. So what does it mean? If I am single, I have a problem with someone, I start to get upset, okay, I fight. Okay, I get injured. Too bad for me. But maybe my family is going to be hurt if they saw me injured. But if I am with someone, I have kids, and I have my wife, etc., and I am injured, and something happened bad to me, it's exactly like if something happened bad to them. So I have to always consider my action. When I go to a fight, when I go to something, I think about them first. Yes. It's exactly like in Israel in some units. If, for example, tomorrow you are in charge of 10 guys, and you go in a mission, okay? And the mission is way too dangerous. Are you going to put the life of the 10 family behind you in danger? No, you're going to say, oh, this mission is not for us. Let's go back. Because you are in charge of guys. And you're in charge of your wife, your kids, your family. And this is the same thing. So that's why it's always with reflection that we do the things.
Yep.
Okay? Except when something is super dangerous. But again, Krav Maga is to think simple, very simple. We know in the technique, we limitate the moves as much as we can to make that the people, the students, they learn quick. And believe me, with the little experience that I have, even if you are clumsy, if you don't understand at the moment, believe me, you understand. And your process is starting to think different, and you process different because you see the target. As I told you, as soon as even the listeners today, if tomorrow they go like a potential threat, they're going to say, oh, I didn't see that like this. You know, the student, when they come to the class, we were talking about Zoom class. Now, because of the pandemic, we do Zoom class. So it's virtual, but it's the best training ever because it makes you work your skills, your move. It keep you in shape. It makes you work visualizing, imagining the process, the connection with when I do this, what do you do? When I do that, what do you do? When I do this, what do you do? And you start to be in this mode of seeing action. In fact, to finish on that, it's like if, for example, there's the new movie of Tom Cruise who's coming out, and I have the chance to see it before you.
Oh,
and I told you, I don't know. Huh?
I don't know. I hope not. I want to see that.
I tell you the story from the beginning of the movie to the end, and I tell you everything. When you go to see the movie, first of all, it's not a surprise because I tell you everything. And you arrive and you say, oh, okay, good. So, in fact, this is exactly what we do with the students. We put situation, okay, something like that. Okay, the guy take you the arm and he pull you and he punch you. Okay. So, after seeing all those type of situation, Your brain, it's like movies. Oh, I know this story. The guy is coming at me, he's putting his hand in his back. Why? And this is how you put a new frame into the head of the person saying, oh, this is not normal. Or you go in the parking lot, you are a lady, you are alone, you have a skirt, you're coming back from the office, you have your bag, and there's a car with 4 guys inside looking at you.
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
oh,
It's so true. And I want to unpack. You mentioned so many great points throughout this last couple minutes. First thing I want to mention is, guys, if you want to train with Philippe, we have an amazing opportunity to join anywhere in the world on Zoom class with him. They're amazing 1 hour and 15-minute, like, balls to the wall workouts. You get, and you really get a really great burn, like physically, mentally, your mind gets a workout, and you just feel more confident and prepared for the real world. God forbid something does happen. So if you would like to take advantage of this discounted class, he's doing it just for the Happy Hustle listeners. Send him an email, OIS Miami, and you'll get a discount for the Zoom class. And then if you'd like to continue forward with that, he'll do a discounted package rate. But I do them. Stephanie, my girlfriend, we jump in there, we get after it. There's really powerful lessons. He's a strong storyteller, so he gives you situational awareness throughout the entire class. It's not just, hey, throw left or right if someone comes at you with a knife. No, it's putting in practice real life situations that may take place. Maybe they won't, but at least you'll be prepared. And now another thing that I want to mention that I think is very important is what you said, assessing the consequences of your actions, knowing when to fight, when not to fight, when to recognize that you have your family with you and it's best to walk away, even if they're being disrespectful and say a comment. Sometimes you can choose to use your words to handle a situation far better than your fists or your feet or a weapon. And, and especially now, given the crisis and whatever's taking place, people are desperate now. They don't have some money. Maybe there is going to become more crime in the future. It's important to protect yourself. It's important to know how to really mitigate risk and situational awareness. And that's what I think is really powerful about Krav Maga. And what I'd like to just touch on is how you assess an environment and a potential threat, and maybe how the listeners and the viewers could take away some of these tactics where then they can know what to look for, know where to look at the exit. Maybe if there's a bottle on the bar, if that could be a potential weapon, or if that person at the gas pump has a blade sticking out of their pocket and you could just see the little clip. How do you assess the situation? What are some of the tips that you can give the listeners so they can be better prepared?
so you just resume everything. Awareness. Being connected with the world. Today the world is connection. If you are not connected in Wi-Fi, in human Wi-Fi, with your surrounding, and you are in your bubble watching your phone, it's gonna be a problem. Because what makes the difference is how you see the things coming and when.
Yeah.
I told you before, we have what we call the prevention. If you jump in my back from behind, I'm not a ninja, I don't have the eyes in my back, okay, I will react after. But if I see something and I have the choice and I have the chance to leave, or for example, I'm in the street and God forbid it happened to anybody, and you are in Miami and there's a shop, and you see there is a problem, okay, get in the shop, say to the manager, please call 911, help me, someone is attacking me. That's why I said about the fact of talking. You have out there bad people, but let's talk also about the good people, the people that can help you in the street. There's a bunch of guys and ladies that are ready to help you and to fight for you if needed. But you have to be able to say, hey, please, sir, look, there is a problem. We don't have, I don't know, I don't take the subway here, but when I was in France, the people there take the public transportation, or in New York, and And you know, back in the time in Paris, you have people, they were attacking people in the subway, and everybody was shocked. Nobody was responding, nobody was helping. But if one person could have the courage to stand up and to say to this one, come on, let's go, and you also, and then you, and we all goes together, 10 together in front of the guy who's punching this lady. You see 10 people arriving on you, you're gonna freak out and leave. And this is the courage, how you can sometimes in different situations motivate people to help you. So again, being aware, being picky on details, because some kind of details can save your life. Being afraid of nothing. When I say afraid of nothing, don't be shy. If something happens, ask, talk, run, move, go. What else?
And those are great. I mean, those are great points. The details too. I love that.
Little things, you know, on a different level for the people who train for different agency, etc. We ask them in the training, we put them a plate, a picture of someone, this, and at the end of the training, after 4 hours, they tell them, okay, what was the number of the plate of the car? What was the car? What was looking like the 2 guys? So if you don't remember nothing, you can't give nothing. You know, when you are under shock, your brain is not responding like now. No. That's why, again, in the training, we push the students to a very intense training to make them release a little bit.
Yes.
You know, the people, they start to learn when they accept to release and to say, I let it go. Now I learn. Now it comes in. Because we are all like this. All of us, me the first, when I go to train this type of things or this type of things, when it's the first time, plenty of a priori, you know, I don't know if it's English to say a priori, but plenty of, no, I can't do that, I can't do this. Okay, and after a moment, when I'm super tired, exhausted, you know what? I learn everything because I'm ready to listen.
Yep, so true. That is a great point. I hope all of you, even if you've even just heard a fraction of this interview, start to be more aware. If you take nothing else away from Philippe, just start being more aware. Look at your surroundings. Look at potential threats. Recognize the feeling inside your gut. I today was walking my dogs and I noticed 2 men in a truck that didn't have a good feeling. I remembered their plate, their look, and I instantly now do it. It's a part of my DNA. I've trained myself.
You know, I have one of my students, a very good student. His name is Kevin, and he's always telling me about video, about situations, and sending me video about. And you know him, of course.
Yes, amazing man.
Yes, about yes, and about a situation that happened. And always he tell me, hey, look, they are doing nothing. They didn't see it coming. Of course, when he tell me that, it's because he have the experience of training. But you can see in most of the time of the video of people who are victims, they have plenty of opportunity to do something. But because they don't know, of course they don't know. It's easy to talk when you
do. It's training though. That's what it comes down to. And, you know, I know Adam's an expert instructor as well. And I've learned so much from even just training with them to see the experience. And that's really what it comes down to, guys, is training. It's like anything worth doing. You have to practice. It's not just going to happen overnight, not one Zoom class, but it will be a great start. So I definitely urge you to send him an email and get in on the Zoom class offer. But yeah, it's definitely training.
Recently, you had on your podcast a very interesting guy who climbed the Himalaya, correct?
Yeah, he climbed Seb Audi. He climbed Mount Everest and 6 other of the highest mountains in the world.
So Everest is higher, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I can go like this with a jacket and say, allez, let's do it. No.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared physically. You have to be prepared mentally.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared to
spiritually
to do everything.
Yeah.
You have to be ready for situation that you didn't expect.
Exactly.
Yeah. We have the chance. I have the chance to be surrounded by amazing students. amazing people who follow us. And I have 3 pillars. It's, of course, I talked about it before. It's Kevin, Lisette. She's fantastic. She's going to become the first woman instructor of our system in Florida. So Kevin is instructor, and we have beautiful Adam that you know very well.
Yeah.
And those guys, they are helping me. They are constantly here to encourage the students, because I have my vision of the thing, but they have also their vision with their personality. And sometimes when I don't point something, they do it, and it's a good thing to have also
a team. Yeah.
Yes, to have a team, because again, it's not about, as I say, it's not about me. No, it's about the students. What we can give to the people to make them feel better, to make them, because you never know why people they come to you. I have no clue. Sometimes someone they tell me, oh, I saw that on internet, Krav Maga, and they don't know what is Krav Maga, and when they realize that like this, and after you never know. It's during the weeks and the month that you start to discover the people, and they discover you, and they discover the system, because it's all about the system.
Yep.
And that's a family. And if your listeners, they could see you training, because you are a very good athlete, honestly. Since the first day, you have a good energy. You are like in your podcast. You are a motivator. So it's easy to have someone like you, to train someone like you, and you could be tomorrow maybe a very good instructor.
I want to come to Israel and train with you, and definitely become an instructor one day. So I'm so grateful. What?
As soon as they open the airports.
Exactly. Well, Philip, this has been amazing. I want to run through the rapid fire round and then point people to where they can learn more about you and more about Krav Maga. So if it's cool with you, we'll run through the rapid fire round, where I just ask you questions and you answer as fast as possible the first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Favorite movie?
Tom and Jerry.
Favorite food? Go.
French fry.
Favorite book?
Anne Frank.
What's your spirit animal?
The squirrel.
The what?
The squirrel.
What is that?
The squirrel.
The squirrel?
Squirrel.
I would have never in a million years thought you would have said squirrel. Best business advice?
Never stop.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Be good to people.
Be what?
Be good to people.
That's good. One word you wish to be synonymous with your name for the rest of your life?
Emuna.
What does that mean?
Faith.
Love it. 3 things you're most grateful for right now?
My mom, God, and United States of America.
Amazing. Where can people go to learn more about you, to find out about Krav Maga, and to take you up on that Zoom offer to train online?
Alors, you have the website. I don't know if you mentioned it. It's www.ottkravmaga.com. So if they want to participate to our classes, as you mentioned before, they send an email through the website, and we will welcome them, and we'll make them participate to our training. And hopefully soon, when the pandemic will be finished, they will be able to come to our normal classes.
Amazing. So it's OTT Krav, KravMaga.com, and then send him an email, oismiami@gmail.com, to get the discounted Zoom class. Guys, I hope you take him up on this offer. It's not for everyone. That's why he's opening it up just for the happy hustlers out there listening.
Yes, only for the members. So I open it just for your guys.
Yes, because usually you have to be a part of his classes and is already a student. So this is a really cool opportunity. I hope to see you online on Zoom training with Philippe soon. Last question, Philippe, and then we'll say goodbye. What does happy hustling mean to you?
Happiness and motivation. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, to the listeners, you're doing an amazing job. I love your podcast. I love the last one you did with your wife. It was beautiful. You were stunning together, and you give a good time, and it's you learn something. It's very interactive. It's very you learn. You have a good energy, and I love it.
Thank you so much, Philippe. This has been amazing. I appreciate you hanging out with us today. See you on class soon.
Super. Take care.